Hi, welcome. Thank you very much. Firstly, to say it's great to be here in Skopje today. We've been all around the country with this campaign over the past few weeks. It's had an incredible response. I want to start off today by reminding all of us that every child is unique and every parent is unique, right? And the love and relationship and attachment between every parent and child is also unique. But maybe we are the first generation of parents in history to have a clear understanding of what helps children's emotional, social, and cognitive development to flourish. We have learned over the past couple of decades that although development can occur throughout the entire life cycle, this bottom line, by the way, represents from conception to the year of 80. I'm guessing that we don't have people in the room over 80, but if we do, I'm sorry for leaving you out. And I guess we probably don't have people who have not yet been conceived. But what the blue lines represent is emotional, social, cognitive development and development of sensory capability. And what you see is that most of it occurs from around about the last 3 months of pregnancy through the first 5 years of life. Just in the last couple of years, scientists have discovered that stress in the life of a mother in the last 3 months of pregnancy has an immediate and direct effect on the brain development of the child in the womb. When children are born, they are not born and then start forming relationships. They are born into relationships. They arrive recognizing already the voice of their mother, and they just are seeking 3 things. The first one is emotional attachment, or in other words, love. The second thing is they are seeking stimulation and learning so they can learn to navigate their way around the world. And the third thing they are looking for is protection, because as a species, we are perhaps most reliant, more than any other species, on parental protection in the early years. And when that emotional attachment, when that stimulation and learning, and when that protection is not there, children immediately identify it as danger and as risk. And the activation of the stress response system in early years is extremely damaging to the development of the child. Young children ask about 25 questions an hour. They do it by pointing and by looking and babbling, and eventually with words and full sentences. We now know that it is the response of the parent to these questions that helps the child's brain, emotional, social, and cognitive development to flourish. But the biggest threat to this is adverse childhood experiences, things like emotional neglect. A recent study supported by World Health Organization in Macedonia revealed that almost 1 in 3 young adults believe they had been affected by emotional neglect from parents in childhood. Things like physical violence. Recent UNICEF research suggested that 1 in 2 children are affected by physical punishment in the household. And things like violence against the mother. Globally, it's assessed that 1 in 4 women are affected by domestic violence in the home, and that 1 in 4 children witness that. I want to show you for a moment a video that is done by collaborators at the University of Harvard Center for the Developing Child, which articulates the difference between growing up in a caring, nurturing parental environment and growing up in a situation of emotional neglect.
And she gives a greeting to the baby gives a greeting back to her. This baby starts pointing at different places in the world, and the mother's trying to engage her and play with her. They're working to coordinate their emotions and their intentions, what they want to do in the world. And that's really what the baby is used to. And then we ask the mother to not respond to the baby. The baby very quickly picks up on this, and then she uses all of her abilities to try and get the mother back. She smiles at the mother. She points because she's used to the mother looking where she points. The baby puts both hands up in front of her and says, "What's happening here?" She makes that screechy sound at the mother, Like, come on, why aren't we doing this? Even in this 2 minutes, when they don't get the normal reaction, they react with negative emotions, they turn away, they feel the stress of it. They actually may lose control of their posture because of the stress that they're experiencing.
Okay. I'm here. And what are you doing? Oh, yes. Oh, what a big girl.
So that shows what happens when emotional neglect leads to the activation of the stress response system. The important thing about emotional neglect, like many other adverse childhood experiences, it's not intentional. It's simply a parent replicating automatically what they have experienced in their own childhood. And I just give this one short example before I go. I was on the tube train back in London a few weeks ago, and there were two mothers with young babies sitting opposite us on the tube train. And both of the babies were doing this communication. They were pointing and babbling and looking. And one of the mothers was responding to every single signal the child sent. And the other one was not responding, but was simply doing up the jacket, fixing the gloves, doing the child's hair. She didn't love her daughter any less, but the responses that she was giving were less likely to help the child to develop and grow and get the best out of their life opportunity. We firmly believe that we can make Macedonia a country where there is no area where violence and neglect is a taboo theme, where no parent does not have access to knowledge about how to give their child the best possible start in life. And this is the way to end violence against children in our society and to help children to flourish, to create a society that will flourish. Благодаря много.
Ви благодаря много.